Hey, everybody. Welcome to the show. Welcome to Disney with the Ducks. You're joining me, Gene, Lonnie G.
Hey, everybody.
Jeff.
Hey, guys.
And our friend Clint for episode number, what, Jeff?
80.
Episode 80. We're really happy to be here. Thank you so much for joining us. As always, we start with a little question. As here, I don't know when you're listening to this, but right as of now, as we're recording this, we're about to start school. We're heading into fall. I'm just curious, guys, what is your favorite thing about the fall? I'm going to start with you, Lonnie. What's your favorite thing?
Well, the thing I'm looking forward to this fall is cooler temperatures. Man, it is hot down here in the South. So, yeah, man, literally I go outside. I feel like something's grabbing me out the concrete. It's just heat. So give me some cooler temperatures. Give me some pumpkin spice stuff. I'm good to go. Pumpkin spice lattes. Pumpkin spice.
White girl. That is a basic white girl.
Hey, man, you offended 3 of our listeners with that one. This no. You only got like 4. You just offended 3 of them.
Jeff, what's your favorite thing about the fall, man?
Fall is all my favorite F words, Gene. We got football, we got fires, we got friends, we got Frankenberry cereal. I mean, those are the highlights for me.
Yeah. Clint, our special guest, we'll talk a little bit about who you are here in a minute, but what's your favorite thing about the fall?
I was going to say drop in temperatures, but I mean, if we could just drop into the upper 90s by October, that's probably the most we can expect.
Yeah, I would normally say football, hunting, but it's so hot, like Lonnie said. Clint, you and I have talked about the weather lately a lot. It's so hot. That's the thing. And it's not going to get cooler for another 6 weeks or maybe 2 months here. But man, I can't wait for it to get cooler. My swimming pool is like jumping in bath water. I mean, it's just not even refreshing. I'm ready for it to cool off. And then I can enjoy some football. You don't want to go to a football game when it's 100 degrees. That's no good.
Yeah, pool's too hot. I mean, the agony.
Of the whole body, not just the feet. You see what I did there?
Of the soul.
That's right. So we're joined today, as I mentioned, by my good friend Clint. And he is a big Disney fan, and we'll hear more about that in a second. But Clint, if you don't mind, would you tell us just a little bit about yourself?
I'm here in Louisiana and a dad and husband. Have 3 kids, and that's absolutely our number one goal, to just do things with those 3 and take vacations. And we hit Disney quite a high percentage of those vacations.
I love it.
To the point that we're made fun of it just a little bit. And that's me.
We're all that person in our friends group, Clint. So you're among friends here.
What's that?
That's right.
So we're that person in all of our friends group, the one that gets made fun of. So you're among friends here. You're fine.
Yeah. So Clint, tell us a little bit about what is your experience with Disney. So obviously we're going to talk about Clint's recent trip to Disneyland. But what is your experience? Why do you love Disney, or do you love Disney? And what does Disney mean to you?
So I think it's been 10 years now. When my son was pre-kindergarten, we said, let's go do the one big Disney trip. Let's go do the one. And so we went, and I still can think of I think we did, it was in October. No, it was November. And so it was cool. And we did a Halloween party, and we dressed up, and we're like, this is the one trip. Let's go. Let's do it big, have fun. And we have been a few times, maybe a year since then, because it stuck. And it was just did you ask why I liked it? Am I supposed to go there yet?
Sure. Yeah.
It was the fact that we're not drinkers, we're not partiers, we're kind of boring, but there was something to do for me and my wife, or me and my wife and the kids through the night. So, it wasn't like when we go out of town or go on vacation other places, and we kind of, that 7, 8 o'clock hits, we've eaten dinner, we're done, what do we do now? There's something to do, and it's something fun, it's something friendly, it's something safe. And then, of course, the Disney customer service is always kind of my fallback as just the absolute coolest.
Yeah, we talk a lot about that here. So made that trip. What was next for you? I mean, what made you decide to go back, or what were the next trip or trips like for y'all?
I don't remember if it was that trip or the next one that we said, okay, well, okay, that was really fun. Let's go do it again, but let's bring the other one. By then we had 2 kids, and so if I'm doing the math right, that's about when that was, and so we said, oh, okay, let's go again. I think it was not long, and we did it again, and then it was, I think my wife, who is really, really smart at finances, I think it was after the second trip, said, well, there's this David's Rentals that you can rent points from for timeshare. So then we looked into that, and so we started looking at the different timeshare hotels, and I think I started finding continuing education conferences that just happened to be at Disney. So then we stayed at the Floridian, and then we were like, all right, we're hooked. We can't. There's really not another place like this.
So you say you looked at renting points from David's Rentals after you stayed at the Grand Floridian. Is that the time you decided just to buy in yourself then, or did you continue to rent, or are you?
We did not buy. We didn't buy at the Floridian, and we also we bought in at Bay Lake, and we bought in on the resale market before the resale market rules of no perks came into play. So we are grandfathered into quite a few of the perks. The only one we don't have is we can't use it for cruises, which
it's a back
again, my financial wife there looks at the points per dollar, and just the points per cruise is really not quite as advantageous as the points per Disney hotel.
Yeah, definitely.
That's neat. So a little backstory. Clint and I've been friends for a long time, and before Lonnie ever asked me to go on a Disney, to a Disney race, and before I had that experience, and then obviously before I met you guys and started doing this podcast with y'all, and met you Disney nerds, Disney freaks, whatever you want, whatever you I lovingly call you guys. I remember Clint was going to a conference, he and his business partner, and I remember I don't remember if they were going early or staying late or something, but they were doing Disney, and I was like, we're going to Disney for like a couple of days. Like, I don't get it. It doesn't, like, I was doing the math in my head and carry the one. I don't get it. It doesn't compute. I do now. I get it now. But it was just, sort of my first exposure to somebody that really had an affinity, if you want to call it that, for Disney. And then, obviously Lonnie jumped on board and became
obsessed.
I was going to say, part cult. I don't know. No, I'm just joking. But so Clint was my first kind of exposure to that, and so I just think it's neat. And I'm not a DVC owner like the cool kids, but I get it. I do get it.
So what's are you a Disney World only person? I know we're going to talk about Disneyland trip. Have you done like the cruise lines, Alani, Vero Beach, Run Disney? What like how deep does your Disney
a lot of Disney World, Disneyland a handful of times. No cruises. We are looking at one next summer, but we were going to do a cruise in early 20, and it was March, so that my daughter is Asian, and she had a fever and a cough, and we were like, because they hadn't canceled the cruise yet, but we were like, we don't know about a febrile coughing Asian kid, because at that time everybody still thought it was only Chinese people are catching this thing,
right?
So we just canceled and we didn't go. So we have not done Disney cruises. We have done Alani once.
Alani Gaines,
and that is Hawaii. We've done that once, but no Vero Beach either. And no, I don't run. That is a bit too much for me.
I've been trying to get him to come.
We almost had him convinced. One time we almost had him convinced.
They were there.
Yeah, and then he said no. His will was stronger than our abilities to convince him.
That's impressive because you're pretty convincing, Lonnie.
I know it was.
I was locked in. I think there was a really bad storm or something. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So this trip we're going to talk about this time, Clint, tell me when it was that you actually went on this trip. Like
last week
year,
of June.
People will be watching this podcast in 25, 30, 70 years. We want people to know exactly when
over and over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
End of June, right into the beginning of July of 23 this summer.
Okay.
Good deal. So it's fresh.
Good.
Yes.
How long were y'all? Well, first of all, a little bit about the trip. Did your whole family went? Was it just you and Brandon
everybody went, and we did a CME, so a continuing education split stay. So I did the hotel for 3 to 4 days. I can't remember, 3 to 4 days, and then we moved over to our DVC points for the last 3 to 4 days.
Oh, nice.
And where did you stay on property with your points, Clint?
We did it was both at the Californian. So the Grand Californian Hotel, and then over to the Grand Californian Villas.
Congratulations on getting in at 7 months to the Grand Californian. Yeah. That's impressive.
Yeah. Well, that we got in at like 10 months, and then we walked it for three months.
So we don't judge. Yeah, we don't judge.
We had to move it for maybe,
he was still getting that first day
6 weeks, but yeah, it's hard.
There's so much of these conversations that it's like,
I saw you just zoned out there for a minute.
Yeah, I mean, you saw the glazed look. He looked over like, he looked like into the distance. He was like
walking. I don't even splitting. I don't know.
Gene has trigger words that he perks up for. If you mention Crimson Lake, he is all in.
I'm all over it. Yep, for sure. And dining plan. I'm all over that too. It's rumored to be coming back, so we'll see.
Is it rumored, Gene, to come back, or did it come back?
I think it's coming back.
It is bookable currently.
Oh, it is bookable. So see, there you go. See, even when I throw something out there, Jeff's going to correct me and make sure that
not a dining plan fan. Don't like it.
Tell me why you don't like it.
Let's go back to the finances.
Right.
You if you typically, when they do the dining plan, it's either a dining plan, free dining with the meal, or I think 30% off the room. And when you do the math, most of the time, it's going to be, or if you buy the dining plan, most of the time the math is you're not going to beat Disney. So they're going to get you. And very rarely do you sit down and have an appetizer, fruit, an entree, a dessert, a drink for every single member of your family.
It's true.
Very good points.
Not with little kids, you're not, for sure. You're going to have chicken nuggets or whatever.
But having it paid for in advance, we get it. We did the dining plan once. It was great. It was a lot of food.
That's what I liked about it. We went with 3 different families, and 2 of the guys and 2 of the dads, and that's what we talked about the whole time, is how much food. Like, I didn't go hungry at all. We had snacks left over. I do like not pulling my wallet out every time you go to a whatever.
My wallet is gone the minute I walk in. We have our bands.
Yeah, but then that could be dangerous too. You just keep scanning. And you just develop it.
I'm like you. I've had it a couple of times, but I tend to lean to not getting it, just because, number one, I don't usually eat that much unless I feel I'm forced to eat it, right? And no matter how much I try, I'm always on the last day trying to buy some stuff to bring home. Right. So if you think about it, to your point, Disney always wins. They have a bunch of people counting the math, this and that. It's we'll charge them this, and they'll just end up running off with some Rice Krispie Mickey bars or something.
That's right.
And that's it. But we've locked them in, and you do the math.
They're gonna win.
They end up paying $13 a Rice Krispie treat. So it's crazy. So I'm with you on that one.
Yeah, that's true. So back to your trip, Clint. What was the weather like where you were there? I mean, we know what we're told the weather is like all year round there, but what was the weather?
It was pretty spectacular. We got cold in the if you went early mornings, because we're rope droppers, and then the evenings were a bit chilly too. It would dip into the upper 60s in the evenings and the early mornings, and then I think one day it hit 90, but we just laugh in the face of 90, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's a dry heat for them, right? I mean, they don't get it. They don't get it. You know, it's like, oh, it's so bad. I do know this is not bad.
Yeah.
It was,
and they're pretty stingy with their water too. You got to be careful with Disneyland
really?
versus Disney World.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Wow. Well, it's California. I don't know what that means.
Did Murphy, was that after Murphy burned? So did you get to see Fantasmic when you were there, or was it?
No, we had it booked and then it burned a couple weeks before we went. So no, we hoped, but now we're seeing that it'll be a long time.
So tell us about you. So you went in, let's start day one if you don't mind. You flew in to SNA or Los Angeles? Where did you fly into, Clint?
LAX.
Okay.
When we went to, we flew into John Wayne back in March when we did a trip, not to Disney. And I got to tell you that there's smaller airports around LAX. If you can go there, absolutely. Those were great. LAX has got such a huge construction project going on. It was pretty rough. Rented a car just for one day, just so because we knew we weren't checking in until later. So we rented a car and we did a little shopping, grocery shopping, because we like to buy our waters and buy our snacks and stuff when we get there, bring it to the room.
Mm-hmm.
And then they have the car return right there around the property. So I dropped the family off, and then me and my youngest son went and dropped it off, and we just walked back. And so we stopped and took pictures from the back side of the park, and it was kind of fun. Yeah. And you could walk 2 miles and not be drenched in sweat. It was just a nice little walk.
Wow.
But at Disneyland, we don't have the pass or anything, so you're limited by days. You can only get so many days. So we did not go into the park day one. We just went around and checked the place out, got lost in the place, but then we found out where we were, walked up and down downtown Disney.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
So the beginning part of the trip was a work conference for you. Did your family just take off and do the parks and stuff without you?
So, I mean, a work conference was going on in the hotel. And I got a discount for my room in the work conference. The next morning was the last day of the conference. So I didn't quite make the first 2 days. And as my family and I were walking out, and they're like, "Dad, is this the conference you're supposed to be at?"
He's like, "Did you just dry snitch on me something?" That's what you did.
That's my name tag right there. It hasn't been picked up yet. Keep going.
So no CMEs for you.
No, they don't care. I mean, they made money because you registered for the conference, so they don't really care. They have it all online nowadays, so you can, as long as you log in during the conference, your attendance counts. So I mean, I never showed up in person.
I mean, who wants to go in person anyway? Virtual is the way to go now, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
that's great.
Let's be honest.
Yep,
that's great.
So I'm with you on that.
Not the 90s anymore.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little antiquated.
I thought today, until Jean calls me like 2 hours ago, I'd already told my wife I was going to go to Jean's house, and I thought this was in person. I thought we were going.
Oh, you could have come, man. I didn't think about that.
I was coming.
And
then I'd have had medals behind me and not the door to my attic.
That's good.
And so Clint, you successfully dodged the event, and it's the next day, right? So it's time to go into the parks. You already said you are a rope dropper. So tell us about the first day at was it California Adventure? Did you say I'm going into Disneyland? Tell us about your first day.
I got to see the castle day one. I got to go, the story, Walt's story of going into the park is my favorite. His thing is you buy your ticket and then you walk around, and then as you're coming into the theater, you smell the popcorn. And so, we walked in, and you got to walk on the right side, because if you walk on the left, there's not popcorn popping in the morning. So you walk in and you go smell your popcorn. And then of course, as you walk around the corner, the curtain drops and you get to see the castle. Granted, sorry, Disneylanders, your castle's kind of a stump, but it's still
itty bitty castle.
The magic of it is still fun. But the other thing they have that World doesn't have is the cars are the main street vehicles are going almost all day. And so that's a lot. That's really fun to see that, because you get that. I think they happen like, for like 30 minutes after the park opens at World, and only for a few minutes, 1 or 2 times, and they're done. So, you get to see that. And, but then the gosh, I don't know how many years ago, the rope dropping, they got rid of the entrance show at World and Land. Right. So you'll go in and they want you to shop if you can't get in, or keep going if you're in. So we went around and we made our way over to we do first. I think we did the bobsleds. I'm not a fan. I am, I don't like that. What's that called?
Is that for Cool Runnings?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what it's for. It's for that movie.
It's the Matterhorn.
Matterhorn. Yeah, it's the Matterhorn.
I'm joking, guys. I know.
So
it is so rough.
Bumpy.
Yeah, it's rough.
It is rough. It hurts. So we did it once, and then the kids wanted to do it again, and we were like, "It's broke, so we're gonna keep going to something." Make our way around, and but we stay on that side of the park, and then we'll stay to at least through the middle of the day. Run go. We're meal people, so we got to have meals at the park. We don't leave the bubble. We don't, it's eat at the place or eat at the hotel or eat somewhere, and then we'll do a midday rest, and then head back for the rest of the evening.
So we talk a lot about food on here, Clint. Tell me more about that day in particular, the food.
Yeah, that's Gene's love language right there, Clint. You're speaking it right there.
Sure. He knows.
Where did we eat that day? That day was the pizza place. The alien pizza. Was it Pizza Planet? No, it's not Pizza Planet. That's what we said. Me and my kids decided they should have called it Pizza Planet, but it was just like, it's just called like Alien Pizza or something like that. And it's real expensive per single slice. It's like the Sparrow pizza, but not as big as that biggest slice of pizza. Okay. So went there, and then we waited for our fast passes and our Genie passes and our just as many passes. We would leave the day with extra passes because we're gamers. We are going to figure out how to get the max number of passes per day at the drop. What is it? At hour, 2 hour, whatever it is. Immediately get your next one. So.
So Clint, I have to ask you, man, the best thing about Disneyland that I loved food-wise was the corn dogs. I think I might have had 12, 14, seriously, in 4 days of being in the park. Yeah. Did you splurge on some corn dogs?
No corn dogs.
I'm out.
The thing we spent the most on are the churros.
Oh yeah,
sure. About 100 churros, I'm sure. And it's not me. It's again the younger son that walked with me. He loves a churro, so we got churros. Me and my older son, if we could find ice cream, we're gonna find ice cream.
Now the churro debate. They say they are better in Disneyland than they are in Disney World. Do you find that to be accurate?
So much better at Disneyland.
Really?
So much. Yeah, Disney Worlds they're soft, and at Disneyland they're crispy as they should be.
All right, we'll have to try the churros
in
January.
Look, Jeff, you can tell the look on Jeff's face because we're all going in January, and Jeff's like making a mental note. Churros,
yeah, for sure.
Get churros.
I'm not a big churro fan because I don't like the soft, like just kind of melts when you bite into it.
Yeah, so Disney World, it's soft and it's just not right. But there's a crispy snap at Disneyland.
All right, we'll give it a try. I've heard
not quite as crispy as like the Taco Bell thing, but but closer.
Yeah.
So that day, while we're on the subject of food, that same day, you said y'all are all about the food. You're in the bubble. So that was lunch pizza.
That would have been lunch.
Yeah,
I didn't know I was going to come in with my every single meal.
No, you don't
do it.
No, I was just curious because it's one of the things,
Yeah.
I'm going there in January. I want to know what what I need to eat. So thinking about the trip as a whole, I know the Wilsons, and I know how the Wilsons Disney a little bit. Please tell me y'all had something matching at least one day.
Matching? Oh, yeah. Of course. Almost.
So can you tell us about that?
It's not quite Disney World level. Disney World, we're going in October. We will have 6 park days of matching. The 7th day will be at a water park, and we can't match. But the other days we are matching.
I mean, you could. You go to Buc-ee's.
We could.
I thought he was going to say on the 7th day they rested, but I'm just hoping for that. But
no. But no, there will be matching. It is usually an Old Navy or an Under Armour or something. It's going to be a solid. We've got solid green. We've got solid blue. We've got our Mickey. We've got our green Mandalorian shirts. Mandalorian, but it's got Grogu on it. And but yeah, we've got the matching.
Yeah, that makes me happy. It makes me smile inside just knowing the Wilsons are all decked out in the family attire.
There's the buffet that is similar to the one at Disney World. There's a Goofy's Kitchen over at the Disneyland Hotel. I'll tell you my awesome story about that one. That is a buffet, of course, at Disney is very expensive, especially one that has characters. And so we get there, and as I said earlier, the wallet's gone. I don't play with that. We're not here for wallets at Disney anymore. You can find a way to charge my room, charge my card, charge my Magic Band. I did not do the Magic Bands. That's a whole nother story at Disneyland. So we get there, and they couldn't figure out how to charge the room. And they kept saying, "Oh, it's just some problem. There's some problem with our new system. It's our fault." And we're like, "No, we're not mad. We're eating more food. The longer you take, we're going to go get more food." So he keeps they keep having problems with it, and then they take, and this is right when we're switching.
I know how this ends.
From hotel to villa, which I thought was the problem, but they said, no, that's not the problem. So then they brought it to the front desk, and the front desk found our reservation, said, okay, we got it. We charged it to your room. We're good to go. So we get home and are poring over our bill because that's what we do. And we cannot find Goofy's Kitchen. The multiple $100 meal. We got our Disney Magic, best Disney Magic we've ever gotten. Free Goofy's Kitchen.
It's always nice when things are on the mouse.
Yeah, I kind of thought they were going to tell you that they were going to just go ahead and comp it. That's happened to me before. Not that big, but like
no, they didn't tell us they were competent.
Yeah,
not
like
that
in the
place.
cantina before, we had a Magic Band. We couldn't get it. We had problems. We tried to put a limit on my son's band, and it happened on my wife's, and it just wasn't working right. And we couldn't get stuff to go through, and we were buying meals. We had multiple meals, like just at Pop Century or whatever, wherever we were staying, that they just take it, just take it. And that was magical enough for me, and it was several $100.
I've been pretty excited about getting that free glass of water here and there, but
I think you got the bonus with that.
Yeah, this was a pretty good one.
So Clint, that's first day, good rope drop. You're there all day. You got some pizza, all that good stuff. Let's move to day 2. Anything stands out? Did you go back into the original park, or did you go to California Adventure?
I don't. We had the
hoppers,
the park hopper, but I am thinking I don't even know if we used it. Maybe at the very end we did, but we just kind of went back and forth. So day 2, we went to California Adventure, and
are you a Genie Plus family?
Yeah. So
every day, or is it?
At Disneyland, Disney World, it will not be every day. At Disneyland, yeah. So they in their 2 parks, they have more rides, of course, than all 4 parks at Disney World. So Genie Plus there is way better because you got way more ride options. You got way more spots. You're not gonna have to worry about only getting three passes like at World. Like I said, we had leftover.
And it come with the pictures too, correct?
It does.
So that's a bonus right there.
I don't know if that's going to keep happening. I think there was something about that. They're either getting rid of the photo pass with the plus, or I don't know, something. No, they're getting rid of it with the annual pass. That's what it was.
Yeah, but I think
what are you going to do?
If you get the Genie, well, you can add the option. It's like another $150 or something, and they'll put it on your annual pass. I do it because strictly, sometimes I like pictures. Sometimes, so I do it. But I know, and with the if you're going to get Genie Plus in California, it's a little bit more expensive. But to Clint's point, a lot of people don't know this. You have more rides in those 2 parks than in 4 parks in Disney World, right? I mean, you have a ton of rides. And on top of that, you'll get those pictures for those rides. So I think that's a win-win right there. So
it's pretty good. But yeah, then the other thing is they called it Max Pass before Genie Plus, before World had it. They didn't do the Fast Pass system that Disney World did. They had Max Pass. Max Pass was the best. It was great. So we were really excited about Genie Plus, thinking maybe it'll be good too. But it just never panned out to be nearly as good as what Max Pass did. And so we were worried after seeing how Genie Plus is okay at World. How is it going to be at Land? And it's very good. So it's still very good at Land. Definitely suggest you do it. I don't know what you do. You know, if you're not in one party, like if all 3 of y'all are going, or however many y'all are going as a group, if you're not in one party, I don't know if you should find a way to get in the same party to do that. To get rides together.
That'll be her problem.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Get on that, Jody. Figure that out for us.
Yeah, Jody's good at that. Hey, Clint, I just wanted to backtrack a minute ago. Lonnie had mentioned a lot of people don't know and about the number of rides, and another thing that a lot of people might know is that Lonnie likes pictures. I have a 16-year-old daughter that takes a lot of pictures, selfies, but just pictures in general. Lonnie takes more pictures than she does. So
no, sir.
Thing. I don't even know how that ever works.
Lonnie is in more pictures than she does. That doesn't mean that Lonnie's taking the pictures.
Yes. I am photobombing people. That's a difference.
No. Lonnie takes more pictures.
If I see a photo pass, we're stopping at the photo pass. It's a free
Thank
picture.
you, Clint.
We're gonna take our photo pass.
Yeah, thank you.
Watch this person standing here with a well. Let's take a picture. We never know. You might need a wishing well in your background. Oh, look, the side of a building. That's fine. Let's do it. We can get this.
That's good. Make it magic.
You can tell the college kid that has never held an actual camera other than a cell phone when is your photo pass person sometimes, and you're like, let's give him a shot. Let's go for it.
That's big of you.
Yeah. So I haven't. Last time I went to Disneyland, it was a while ago. So they haven't opened Marvel Land or any of that kind of good stuff. What are your thoughts on that? I mean, you got the web slingers there. You got the Tower of Terror. Okay, look, I'm a Tower of Terror fan. It's probably one of my favorite rides in Disney World. There, they kind of did it. Everybody says it's better. I don't know. What are your thoughts on that?
I'm done with the Tower of Terror at Disney World. It is. Yeah, I'm not a fan anymore. It's just but I will tell you, the Disneyland one with Guardians, it's just, I mean, it just, Chris Pratt and that all the whole story. Everybody is just always just so fun. And you're listening to, of course, 80s and 90s music, and it's just
Chris Pratt was there.
Really, really fun time.
He rides with everybody. He goes up and down every ride.
Awesome. Yeah, I know Disneyland's a lot different than Disney World, so I was wondering. Yeah,
we did see. When we go to Disneyland, I'll get on the Twitter Disney Park celebs, and I'll look and see if anybody's there while we're there. The day or two before we were there was they were pushing the Haunted Mansion movie, so we missed seeing them. But so those stars were there. That would have been neat. But then, as I was leaving Haunted Mansion, I did not Haunted Mansion. As I was leaving the Tower of Terror, the Guardian reboot. On our last day, I did see Maya Rudolph was leaving the park out. That was her exit. So I saw her with her kids. I presume. I think it was her kids. But
that is some kids she found in the park.
Yeah, just walking around with her in a plaid suit. One of the plaid guys.
Yeah.
Anytime you're at Disneyland, if you see a person in plaid walking around, you look and see who they're with. It's going to be somebody.
Yeah. It could be us.
It could be.
This is under discussion currently, so it could be us.
So I do love Disneyland, the fact that the characters, and you mentioned the pictures, are more accessible because they're not on the leash like they are in Disney World. Excuse me if I offended anybody.
Just don't care.
Yeah, that's it. You're right. They don't. So for us, we'll probably tackle Mickey if he didn't have a handler. But they're like, we see him all the time, right?
Yeah, so the locals just do not care. So they're just walking around. And but at World, no, you got to lock them down.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So any other good eating experiences that you had? Because we're trying to figure out as well, Clint, so you're helping us out. I know we say we want to go to Blue Bayou. Got to get a Monte Cristo. I love their Pirates ride. You know, going over getting some beignets, Mickey beignets over there in New Orleans Square, all that kind of good stuff. But any other good, really,
if you can get into Club 33, just go.
Oh, can I use your pass?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
I'll call ahead. You know, being a member, obviously.
How do those numbers work out when you crunch those numbers?
When you go look at the Club 33 sign, the trick is there. That's not the door anymore. So if you want to see the door, it's actually around the corner. There's another. It's not close. It's not at address number 33, but the door's still there and the number's still there, but it's not where you actually go in anymore. But yeah, the beignet is definitely good. They're doing some construction, so there's not as much seating over there. Hopefully that'll be down when y'all go. And then the Blue Bayou was good. It was good this time. Last time I did not like it as much as I did this time, so it was better. You know, if you're looking for the breakfast type buffets, the Crystal Palace type buffet that I think it's Minnie's Kitchen. I think it's what it's called. It looks just like Crystal Palace, so it's really good over there. And then she wanted to see me again. I knew it. And then I'll tell you at the Californian. I don't know where you're staying, but their little
not at the California. Yeah, not at the California.
Lonnie booked us all at the Howard Johnson.
Yeah, we're all at that Hojo across the street.
Wonderful. The great thing about we've stayed at the was it a Marriott or Hilton? We stayed at one just right down from it, and it's so walkable. It's such the block around Disney is just, it feels safe. It feels fine. There's tons of people walking in and out. So I guess this may have been our third time because I think we stayed at that other place twice. But yeah, it was that's wherever you stay, if it's nearby, it's good. Where else? They've got some really interesting food things in the downtown Disney area. Different fun desserts. In the park, I do not like the eating at Disneyland as much as I like it at Disney World. There's not quite as many, you know, but I think at World it's still more of an experience to go and eat, and so I think at Land they don't really do that as much.
Yeah. Did you ride Mickey's Wheel of Death?
Yes, the Great Wheel of Death.
The what?
The Mickey's Wheel of Death.
Yeah.
The giant Ferris wheel that spins and rotates
I have never done it before any of our other times, and me and my daughter and my oldest son were like, we got this. Look at that. That's nothing. It's just swinging a little bit. No, it is not. It is not just swinging a little bit. It's swinging a lot. And you just grab very quickly, hoping that this is not the one that's going to go upside down. Because at any moment, it's going to happen, I'm sure. But yeah, we did it. We did the swinging ones, and it was. I will never do it again.
Yeah. You know, it's funny when you say you did it. I was like, I wonder if he jumped on the swinging ones or the more, you know, the stable ones that just kind of go
every other time we've done the stable ones, but this time we're like, we got this. This is fine. I'm tough. Whew, it got me.
Oh yeah, it will get you. And what about the Incredicoaster? You did that. How's that whole land? I know they're trying to. The San Fran Tokyo didn't open up when you were there, but I think that's opening up.
No, it did not. Later and it looks like it's going to be okay, but it looks like all they did was just change the look of the what is it, the San Francisco Pier that it was before. But Incredicoaster is just awesome. It's so good. We did it when it was California Screaming, and it was fun. It was a great coaster, but the Incredicoaster is way better. It's just that they do a good job with the theming of it. Good don't let me forget to come back and talk about Marvel.
Well, jumping into it now.
Yeah, because look, I want to hear about
thinking Marvel. Of that. I'm thinking about that section of the park, though. Let's see. You got the Incredicoaster. They've got the carnival thing. You just felt bad for those people. You got the people standing at the carnival, you know, like the shoot the water, the throw the ball, there's people just standing there having to work, and nobody's going to that. I don't know what's going on. I guess you just got to keep it up, but that theme's kind of there's a Goofy Sky Coaster. It's meant for kids. It is really a tiny itty bitty little seat, but it's kind of like Primeval Whirl. You go up and it whips you around, so you got to be You got to be ready for that one. That one kind of makes you jump. Okay, so then and then before we get to Marvel, Cars Land.
Oh yeah, my favorite.
It is. You're walking in the movie. They did a good job on Cars Land. Yeah. You're definitely walking down the street of the movie.
That's cool.
All right, Cars Land. Did you go to Flo's Cafe?
Every time. Never.
Did you get it for breakfast? Did you go breakfast or dinner? Because I think their grilled French toast is the best thing to me on that menu. But what did you get?
We did both. We did that, and then we did a burger.
God, you're my man. Okay, you're good. Yeah, I'll let you out the corn dog thing now.
Flo's twice. This time we did not get any of the cones, but we usually stop at one of the cones for a dessert. But yeah, Cars ride. I mean, you just get on that thing as many times as you can. Okay, Marvel. The Land's kind of a letdown.
Oh no!
I mean, of course the Guardians ride is just wonderful. The Spider ride is way around the corner was good. It's fun. I mean, I guess it you actually will use your hands to shoot the webs, and so it is fun. But the Land is just kind of a little quick strip that they threw up a couple of facades, and I mean, I guess saw a couple of the shows from a distance, but all right.
Wow, that's a little disappointing for me.
Now they do have Pim's Kitchen in there. That's funny. It's funny. So you'll want to go and get your giant pretzel that Hank exploded and made very large. And then you go get your eggs, and he shrunk those down so they're like little robin's eggs. I mean, they're tiny. It's pretty funny. So yeah, anything in Pim's Kitchen you can get.
Did you see Spider-Man fly?
We did, and
did he clear the landing?
I kind of pushed my kids to the side to give him a high five. So when he came out to see the audience and I gave him a high five, I was like, "Sorry, kids, this is for me. This is not your trip. You can pay for your trip later."
Exactly. I have no problem with that.
Spider-Man doesn't.
We have no clue if this is the real Spider-Man. Because what's his name? Surprised guests doing a meet and greet once. Tom Holland.
Yeah. I mean, if Zendaya's not with him, I really don't care.
I'm kind of with you on that one.
Yeah, I'll let him go.
Hey, did you? So where is the ripoff of my idea for the Captain America or the Avengers musical?
So that's just as you go into California Adventure, you hang a left. It's you'll go down a street very similar to like you used to in Hollywood. And then you get to the end of the street, and they have a theater. That theater used to have a amazing Aladdin show, and then after that, they did a Frozen show, and it's very it's like a 45-minute, or at least it was then, amazing show. We were there. It opened the Friday of the week we were there, and we were in the park Friday. The last day we were in the park was the first day of the show. I mean, I'm good at getting those lightning or getting fast pass or getting whatever when they open up a virtual queue. There was nothing. There was no way. So I read reviews later, and apparently 80-something% of the place was already pre-selected tickets.
Yeah. I think that'll be gone before we get there, isn't it?
So they say it's. I think they'll be there. They're setting themselves up so that if it fails, they can say, well, it was a limited showing. But if it's really good, they can keep it going. Gotcha. So I think it'll still be there because it's been pretty well reviewed. I mean, they'll have to watch and see how it's going through August to see if they keep it after September. But I bet it's still there. One thing I do know is that after I read about how they were almost given up, other people commented and says, I just walked up and they said, yeah, we got extra seats. And so bummed about that. I don't know if they would have had 5 extra seats for us, but I'd have left the kids.
Well, you know what you say then. Sorry, kids. I'll catch you after.
Sure.
Yeah, there's a Monsters ride. Go get on that. Go hang out with Maya Rudolph and whoever she's hanging out with. Maybe that's what they were. They weren't even her kids. They were somebody that was like.
Yeah, somebody was like, yeah, you take my kid. I'm going to Rogers the Musical. There you go.
So question for the Ducks, Lonnie and Jeff, are you going to see this musical?
I mean, if it's around, I would like to.
It's going to depend for me how things go as far as the legal matters we have going on. Yeah, I don't know if you know,
the lawsuit
Clint,
goes out.
Yeah, my idea on a show, it's documented on a show. Before that was ever announced, was we had a show about taking one thing and making it into another. And my idea was at Disney World. I can do this all day. The Captain America musical, the Captain America story. My name's so much better than Rogers the musical, but
yeah,
it's blatant.
That's all I called it the whole time. That's what I kept calling it the whole time.
Yep. Yeah. They haven't stolen Hello There, the Obi-Wan Kenobi story.
But that's next. That's next.
Yeah, that's going to be
surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if they announced it anytime.
Gene, that was a great segue. So, being the Star Wars fan that you are, knowing that you've been to Galaxy's Edge, I'm guessing multiple times in Disney World, is there any need to go to it in Disneyland if you've done Disney Worlds?
I mean, you can't not, but it is the same. They save money on the architecture firm, because they brick by brick, it is the same.
Okay. So if
you do blue or green
Disneyland, then I'm not necessarily wasting my time, I guess, to go to.
If you're stuck on time, then yeah, that's not one thing you do, because I mean, as much as it wasn't this big amazing thing that Cars Land is, Marvel, you got to go to Avengers Campus, you got to go do that. You do the Spider-Man ride as much as you can.
Did you buy the extra web slingers?
No, but I sure did go into the store and look at it a few times.
Yeah, I always thought Disney, they missed the mark on Galaxy's Edge in regards to, look, I really like it in Disney World. What they should have did was, okay, we got by 2 over there. In Disneyland, they should have did something more centered around, the dark side, right? So you got the dark side there, you got the light side stuff, Lincoln Falcon over in by 2, and they could have did it completely different. It could have been like, a Death Star. Gene, mark my words, because this may come back once Disney hears this and want to steal my idea when they do an expansion. Yeah. So they could have did that. It could have been like a Death Star, right? You're walking, it could have been that high tech, one big half of Death Star. You walk in and you got like, boom, kind of like the room when you're walking in the Rise of Resistance, but everything is like that. Stormtroopers running around, all that kind of good stuff. It would have been perfect. But then again, they didn't consult me.
I think you're still holding a little bit of a bitter grudge, Lonnie, against the light side, dark side races. I think that's starting to manifest itself a bit here.
I got off my chest. Now the healing can begin.
Okay.
For sure.
Those people in the Rise of the Resistance ride, once you get on the ship, the guys, the stormtroopers, they just have to stand like that all day. That's a horrible short straw you have to get, I got that. I'm second row, third guy in again. Oh gosh, that's.
I thought I was moving up to the first row.
No, unless it breaks, and they can go have a smoke out back with.
It's gonna break. It's gonna break.
That's
you look at that thing and you see your boarding group 86. No,
oh yeah,
that's not happening.
Kevin and I were on it in January, and it broke, and we got escorted through the back. We saw the back of the ride. We saw stormtroopers with their helmets, smoking with the Resistance people. It was wild.
I have not seen. I've been on a lot of breakdowns. I've not seen that. I've seen Thunder Mountain. I've seen Splash Mountain a few times. But yeah, that's great. I would love to see. I don't think I've seen Haunted Mansion, but that's nice. I'd like to see that breakdown.
I'm a fairly seasoned Disney World person. We've gone quite a bit. I feel like I know the parks inside, outside. New to Disney Land, never been. How many days do you need to kind of get through to get a good feel of it? Like, what would you recommend for a first-time person to?
What time of year?
January.
2.
Really?
You're gonna be, yeah. I mean, I hope you can stay longer, but I mean, if you got to get in, got to get out, minimum number of days, you could feel very confident after just 2 full days.
So Wednesday to Sunday, we should be fine to accomplish.
Very happy.
Okay.
Yeah. So you're gonna do 5 days?
Mm-hmm. Well, we got some races in the middle there.
Yeah. You can't do more than 5. That's the max number of ticket days you can get, unlike at World. So you're gonna be very good in January.
Good.
Yeah. The only thing I'm and I think we were having a conversation. I heard that it's going through January the 6th. You know, all the kind of the holiday things. So we may miss the Haunted Mansion because usually, like for the last Disneyland race, it was closed. We went there, of course. You know, I was hoping to see that. Did you go to Haunted Mansion there, Clint? Do you like it better there or World? And overall, and you can do this for me. The rides that they share, right? Pirates of the Caribbean.
I can go through each
Haunted
one
Mansion.
for you.
Yeah, which one you like better on what coast?
Okay, Haunted Mansion. They've both got really good things. Usually, Haunted Mansion's a little bit better, especially at Halloween at Disneyland, because they'll do a better Halloween overlay at Land. They'll put in like a Halloween birthday cake in the dancing room, and so theirs is fun. And they're outside. It's just fun to see in New Orleans Square, Antebellum House for it. They're Thunder Mountain is better at Land. I do like it better. I like Splash better. I don't know, it's gone, but I like it better at World. Then everybody in my family likes Space Mountain better at Land.
Yeah,
but I don't really care except when Disneyland does Hyperspace Mountain, which is a Star Wars overlay, and it's the best. It's so good. Their Halloween overlay is not so great, but their Star Wars overlay in Space Mountain is so good. I never feel like the Disneyland one is anything but pitch dark. At Disney World, sometimes you feel like you can see. I don't know if it's because the light coming in from the People Mover, but sometimes it's not pitch dark at World.
Small World.
Ooh, I don't like that anywhere.
You don't like that song?
Oh gosh, no. My friend got stuck on it for like 2 hours.
That's torture. That's torture of the soul, like Babe said.
They need good guest recovery on that one. That's like a lifetime annual pass.
Right. I think it was like an hour and a half or something, but yeah, no, thank you.
I think Land is better for that one. I just like the outside of it.
The outside of Land is really great. It is good. Let's see. What else do they share? I like
Pirates. You saying about Pirates?
Their Pirates is really good. It's so good. The listening to the different stories of how Walt envisioned it, and that. So that's the original one that he walked through, and he saw it, and he saw the people, and how he brings in these guys that didn't know what they were doing, but he knew how to pick somebody that would figure it out. The fact that you're going so much further down and then so much further up, because you can't do that, of course, in Florida, just gives them some space. So majority of it is the same, but it goes around the Blue Bayou restaurant, similar to the Caballeros goes around the Mexican Pavilion restaurant.
Is the Three Amigos now? Gene's renamed that one a few weeks ago.
Renamed that.
Three Amigos, excellent. Now I would go see a Three Amigos ride. I could do the salute with them. I know the whole thing. Oh yeah.
It's my favorite. I love it.
What about Jungle Cruise? Is it virtually the same?
Yeah, it's pretty much the same. They don't. I think I would probably say I like World a little better. They're until this trip, the other times we've been to Land, we've been kind of let down by the customer service. You don't get the whole welcome home vibe at Land, but this time we really did. It was just super over the top. I don't know what was different, so that was really nice. But World, especially when they have all their people back from overseas, they have their college program. Their customer service is top notch. When we went last year, it was okay. The Disney customer service was. It was the only time at World. The only time I've ever felt that was just last time we went. So I guess that kind of helped Land for me.
So what are some of your tips and tricks for first-time people? We discussed a lot of your trip. We know that our trip, the amount of days we should be fine. Obviously, getting Genie Plus is going to make a big difference for us to get through there. Is there any like hidden secrets from your experiences?
You know, if you're doing 5 days and you're doing Genie Plus, you don't need any tips or tricks. You got it. You're really good. I mean, I am very much a fan of know exactly what time you can click your next ride, you know, and just like whenever back in the old days of Fast Pass, the second you ding that first time, even if there is a second band, you know, time to ding, somebody in your group needs to be making your next one. So, you know, you got to make sure you're always making that next one for rides. And there's not really much on tips and tricks with that place. It's really, because it is only just 2 parks. It's everywhere you go, there's the next ride. They can go above and below, and they can do things that World can't do.
Yeah,
that's interesting.
Yeah, I think for us, we kind of landed. There are 2 schools of thoughts with the Ducks. We're doing the 4-day ticket because the first day we get there, I think we get there like maybe 12:30. By the time we get there from John Wayne, you know, we're going to hang out in downtown Disney. Like you said, a lot of great things to do there as well. The next day will be, that Thursday will be our first day. You know, we have to pick up our bibs and stuff like that, but that'll be our first park day, right? And then we'll do that. And then the good thing about while we're getting our bibs and all that kind of stuff, we can, to your point, you know, that first ride, we can get it and then start stacking those Genie Plus selections. Yep. And then, you know, and then we're still, I guess we have to decide, do we need to rope drop? Not rope drop. Do we need to park hop or not? I like the flexibility because a lot of people don't realize you can just walk from park to park and it's so easy. But do we want to do that? I don't know. I'm open for what the group decides to do on that one. But I tell you, it's we're excited to kind of go there. And thank you, Clint, for kind of sharing you know, your insights in it. So now we know we got to get some restaurant reservations and get ourselves ready to go.
Here's the I don't even know what this is. It's I think they're milkshakes is what they technically call them, but there's a place that you can go get milkshakes and you can go in the restaurant and order and do all that, but they have a side window too. But here's how big that milkshake is.
Good night.
You know, man, those milkshakes.
Oh, that's the one I got.
Nice.
Wow.
For those that aren't watching, he had a picture. You go to our YouTube. The child holding it is actually like 6'3", so you can get a good estimate of how big that actually is.
Right.
So.
Yeah. Those milkshakes brings all the boys to the yard.
For sure. For sure.
All right, John.
So Clint, you mentioned, you know, y'all, this one's in the books, right? So your next trip, y'all are going in October, you said?
Yeah, we've got our next 3.
Oh, you got to hear it, Clint. Just give us the months when you're going. I want to know just the months, not the exact dates, but
so we like to every other year we like to do the annual pass. And so if you get the annual pass, we're going to get our money's worth. So we're going to go in October, and we get our points. So we're going to use our points too. So our trips are really not super expensive anymore. But so we'll go in October for a full week, and then we've decided we're going to go when the annual pass blackout goes away. We'll go early January before the kids start school again, and then that cruise we were talking about doing, we're looking at doing it late July. And so we figure after we get off the boat, we'll just go to 3 or 4 days in the park.
Nice.
Just that week that the annual pass blackout goes away in January kind of lines up really good with Dopey. So that might be something you want to consider for that year.
Yeah, I figure we'll be there around the same time as those folks. I probably won't be running.
Sure?
But I will cheer everyone on. And if I see someone with a medal, I will applaud them.
And that's why.
I won't be there, but
I'll grab some of y'all's medals and maybe I can wear them and see if I can get some of that fast pass magic y'all get.
That's the way to do it. I am not running that race ever again, but these guys talk about it, so maybe run into them.
All right, he's lying.
Really appreciate the knowledge and everything that you're kicking over. It's really helped me get excited for my trip coming up and start to.
Yeah, land is fun. Land is exciting. We definitely look forward to that. The temperature's great. Like I said, the proximity of the parks is just so great.
Yeah, I don't think that I would ever willingly do Disney World in June and July ever. It's too hot. That's not for me.
It's going to be hot, but we did it. when it like the third week it opened. I know y'all are trying to go. The third week it opened up after COVID. So we were in that group of
with
people
the mask,
with masks
in the
outside.
Heat? Oh no, Clint.
Look,
You
the
strong
number
as I
of
am.
people there's more people on this podcast right now than there were in the parks at times. There
We
was
were
no
there
one
the day it
there.
opened, and it was yep.
Wow.
It's empty.
Wow.
So yeah, we had a mask on, but we were inside immediately.
Yeah,
Okay.
wow.
We were inside on the ride immediately. It was the fastest. We got tired. We were done. The other time we went when the park was empty is back when Galaxy Theater was open. They were worried about the massive number of people. They opened the park, Hollywood, at 6 a.m. And we don't play. So we got there at 6 a.m.
Wow.
And we would stay from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. when the park opened for regular people at 9, and we left. But we were the crazies going at 6, and we did everything. It was awesome.
Nope.
Wow.
Not gonna see days like that anymore.
Mm-mm.
You heard it here first, folks.
No doubt.
Hot off the press. Get in early, leave before the common folk get there.
That's right.
Exactly.
The peasants.
Let's
Yeah, we would
let's
leave
settle
and
the
go
earth.
eat breakfast at 9 a.m. It was wonderful.
Right? And your day's
That's
done.
good. That's the tip and trick, man. But I mean,
Absolutely.
how often they're gonna open that early. Well, hey, if there are other questions for Clint, I think that might bring us to everybody's favorite part of the show, and that's quacking up with the ducks. Lonnie, you think you can make us laugh today?
Probably not, but I'll give it a shot. So, a question for you guys: why did the pharmacist tiptoe around the store?
I don't know.
He didn't want to wake up the sleeping pills.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody's laughing. Clint's give me a sympathy laugh. I'll take it. I'll take it.
Jeff, how about you, man?
I've been doing a lot of research about like the weather and stuff in LA and everything coming through in January and trying to figure out stuff. And you know what you see whenever the fog lifts out there?
Mm-mm.
You see LA.
Look at the time.
So Clint shares jokes with me dad jokes with me all the time that he shares with his, with his kids. Clint, you have anything for us today?
I mean, I usually have one or two. So since it goes with what we were talking about today, I asked the kids earlier if they think is BB hungry, and they said what? And I said no, BB ate.
Oh, nice. Very nice.
That's all I got.
Look, Alex's edge.
That's good. I mean, as usual, I don't have a joke for you, but I did want to tell you guys. I forgot to tell y'all that I got carjacked the other day. These guys, I was at the red light. These guys jumped in my car and they just took off. They were pirates of the Caribbean.
I'll take Jeff on for that one.
In spite of the jokes maybe not being funny, or maybe they were. I think they were. Thank you so much for tuning in, everybody. Thank you, Clint, for joining us today, sharing your experience. Clint is an expert in a lot of different areas, and Disney is one of them. And I really appreciate you being on here today. Thanks, Ducks, for all your participation. Thank you, most importantly, viewers/listeners for listening to us. We really appreciate it. We do this for fun because it makes us laugh, but we really appreciate you being along for the ride with us. Don't forget, please rate us on whichever podcast app that you prefer. And we like 5-star reviews. If you have anything bad to say, you can address that to Lonnie. I'm sure it would relate to him anyway. And so we just appreciate that. We will see you next time. Anything else I'm missing, guys?
Nope, I think we're set.
All right.
Kwaherini, everybody.
Say Kwaherini. See you guys later. Thank you.
Peace out.
Lonnie's rebooting.
I saw that.
You can reboot paper?